Yo, Incog, you want to come out here? Alright, your Backs to the Future are back in Prep Hub. It has been renamed to Prepstars, which is why you see that at the top left of your screen. I'm Incog, and you're watching me. So, basically, I drafted a team first, and then I was like, oh shit, fuck, you know, man, I should make changes. So I made some changes, and now we're here. I'm going to talk about each mon. There might be timestamps in the description. This will go up on Sunday, the week that I am going on vacation. So I know for sure that I will be back on Saturday, and that'll probably be the next time I'll have another battle. And then that Sunday after I get back will be week 1's upload. So by dating this is going up on the 17th. The first battle goes up on the 24th, etc., etc. Sunday uploads. All right. Now, that being said, we drafted a really lethal ass team. I think everybody has a really good spot on this list. I won't go over what I drafted before I made transactions. It's not worth my damn time. And while most of you might want to hear that, I know how this goes. Regardless, I will try my best to edit my videos for battles and such a little bit better. Obviously, I have a Switch 2, so it might make things run smoother, but I guess I can take some time out of my day to really edit the videos in a proper format. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyways, first pick, we are 5th overall out of like 12 coaches, I want to say. We burned it on not Iron Bundle, but Iron Bundle technically is... actually, no, we did burn an Iron Bundle. Originally, we were going to go with a lower tier pick, but I normally don't go with mons that are worth a lot of points. Oh, I guess I should really preview this. No Terra. Some mons that you might see are technically more high-end. I guess some of them are banned, some of them weren't, whatever the hell. But no Terra, item clause, like 7 weeks of action, just like last time. If you watched it, it'll be in the description. Also, probably an iCard will pop up. Regardless, Iron Bundle. We don't normally draft this mon. I've never gotten the opportunity to use it this generation, if you noticed. But let me take a brief pause. So, took Iron Bundle with our 5th overall pick, I guess. First pick, I guess, but you know, it is what it is. I've never used this mod this generation, and it's really, really fun, apparently. And then I learned through my good pal Gert, who is also in this league, that apparently it only gets chilling water, and I guess Whirlpool as its other 2 fucking water stabs. You know, I get why people miss hydro pumps are very important, but man, we'll make it work. I think that Specs Chilling Water will work its way into 1 battle plan or 8, and we'll see what happens. Objectively, one of the better mons in the draft. With limited item selection via item clause, this mon becomes a little bit easier to handle. Rather that getting up hazards is going to be more paramount for a lot of teams, so I have to very much play it in a way where we stop hazards from going up, or we just play a very long game of trying to get them off the field, rather. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to how we go about our system or just our order of operations. Iron Bundle definitely helps, no doubt, because being an ice water type is still really great. 114 defense is actually nothing to really fucking scoff at, and this mon can also run technically physical. While I wouldn't be running it as much physical, it still has a really, at least, I wouldn't call it deep, but I would say it's a lot funnier if you were to run it physical, just on the basis that you get a little bit more value out of matchups where their physical defense is worse than their special defense. Especially just in, you know, it can definitely be a late game cleaner, an early game terrorizer, or just in general a mon to break down a team before you get into the other mons on this team. Rather, Iron Bundle is very good. Really great special attacker. Its downfall is only really having Hydro Pump as its main stab, and while I might run Chilling Water some weeks, that also presents itself as a limiter, as it is 50 base power. Happens to the worst of us. Next, I got Hawlucha. Hawlucha is really good. I've drafted it once before. I'm pretty sure when I drafted Hawlucha, I went 0-9 in UBL, and outside of that, I may have drafted it another time. I don't really remember. To my memory, I think I have, and I probably did okay with it. But Hawlucha is really fun, honestly. Of course, what you'll notice with this team as we get further and further, that Hawlucha probably won't be using a whole lot of Unburdened Seed sets. Maybe it'll use some, I guess, Unburdened Eject Pack, which wouldn't really make sense. Maybe White Herb or some other shit. I don't know. Mode Breaker is really good on this thing in general. Being able to OHKO, or at least attempt to OHKO things that get multi-scale, among other abilities, and also being able to ignore things like Unaware on things like Cloud's Ire and Skeledirge and other mons. So really good mon here. Limber will definitely come into play here, just because I know that with recent developments, a lot of people have started to use a lot more yellow magic, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man, it's been very funny, because at first I was like, that's funny. I was using that, and then I was still losing for it, but then I also won my first draft league, my only draft league chip, matter of fact, off of cheesing people with status, and also being a jackass with Klefki. So I fully expect to see that happen to me in one of these, or about 3 of these weeks, I'm being honest. So it is what it is. Huluch is really good mon. I think attack is definitely one of the most underwhelming attack stats of this generation, at 92. Because I guess anything above 100 is definitely worthwhile. Anything above 110 is really, really good, in my humbling opinion. But I don't know. I'm an old draft league. I just play them a lot. But regardless, interestingly, deceptively mid-bulk. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get, but other times you definitely know what you're going to get. Fun mon overall. I think that we keep up the speed with this mon. And definitely a mon. I don't think it gets defog. Shouldn't. Oh shit, it does. So we have hazard removal. Hey, look at that. And a bunch of other things that we get on this mod. Regardless, Huluch is really good. Great physical threat. And in general, should be fun to use. Screamtail. I snapped somebody of this. I don't remember who. I personally have a love-hate relationship with this mon. It's mostly hatred. But I will tell you that if I have the opportunity, this would be my fairy every fucking draft. Unfortunately, in those drafts, I usually figure out a different way to go get other mons. So it ends up not becoming my fairy, funny enough, which is fine, obviously. But very good fairy. Maintains a lot of things it gets from like being Jigglypuff's ancestor in some ways. Getting a lot of fucking coverage, getting a lot of good status moves and such, and just a great support mon overall. Can also act as a Calm Mind store power sweeper, I'm pretty sure, as well as using Bulk Up and Calm Mind to store power sweep things, and just being a difficult mon to kill. Screamtail's probably going to do a lot of the yellow magic stuff on this team. And even if it really doesn't, honestly, it's still a really good mon for just mitigating a lot of damage. And it gives us a really good check to many, many dragons. And with the 115 into 99 into another 115 on its HP, defense, and special defense respectively, tying it all together with the 111 speed, we will probably be setting up a lot of rocks this game, or this season, with this mon. But where otherwise we'll be trying to stop them, or just doing our best to annoy people with Screamtail. Really good mon, very hard to kill, and I just have to play it correctly, and this mon goes crazy. I really do like it, but I understandably hate it anytime I have to fight it, so it is a mon that I always look out for in certain drafts, but if I know that it's going to go sooner than I'd like it to, then I let it go. I make sure I always have consistency to beat it. But from the other times I've fought Screamtail, if you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that that doesn't always happen. Regardless, great mon, great support, Walmart. We got Arcanine. Ever since it lost Teleport, I guess it kind of fell off. Ooh, it needed that. Because people don't really draft Arcanine at any amount of points that I've seen it. If they are drafting it, it's literally just the humble Intimidator. And they're usually in leagues that do not have item clause. Funny enough, this would probably be the mon that gets boots maybe the least, in my humble opinion. The reason I say that for me is because Arcanine's a really sneaky, like, really sneaky mon. I won't go into many details about what that means, but I'm sure most people have known this for generations now. Pretty good bulk. It's pretty sneaky about that 90, 80, 80 on the HP, defense, and special defense respectively. Good speed, good attacking stats. Overall, just a really fine-tuned Pokemon right down to the EVs. Can very much be a bulky mon, can very much be the most offensive mon that you need. Obviously, its counterpart in Hisuian Arcanine gets, you know, Head Smash and Rockhead and everything else. But it's always good to go with another Hood Classic that you fuck with. So, I mean, I like Arcanine a lot. And when I say it would probably hold the least amount of boots, I mean, like, there's mons on my team that would very much appreciate it more. But also, like, why wouldn't Arcanine just break any week it can and then die slowly or get off extreme speeds for damage? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people use mons too conservatively, in my opinion, where they do it for one thing and one thing only, or like two things, maybe a third thing if you're very lucky. But we really haven't expounded upon how fucked up we can really use mons. Well, Arcanine might not be the greatest example because I have a few mons that are better examples, Screamtail being the other one. I think we can definitely make that work. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to do anything bodacious or dynamic or some other college level word that's actually not college level, whatever you want to call it. But I will say, if you see me with it with boots on, all I can tell you is trust and believe it was not up to me, it was up to the matchup. Because a lot of my mons, well, 2 or 3 of my mons would actually prefer it, but it is what it is. We got Sandy Shocks. Oh man, I have never wanted to not use a mon more, but it filled a niche for me that is important. The turn core. We got Flip Turn, we got U-Turn, and we got Volt Switch, and we have other U-Turners on this team as well, as you can clearly see on the screen, but we're talking about Sandy Shocks. Great special attacker, 101 speed is just, it's very funny to be just 1.1 little hair faster than the 100s. Great typing, definitely wanted this on this team. I say I didn't want it because honestly, Sandy Shocks is a weird mon for me. It wants to be offensive, but then it has to afford itself the ability to get that booster speed, and if it can't do that, then at 101 you're basically getting outpaced by a lot of threats. But that's the sneaky part about Sandy Shocks. I don't always have to do that. It is one of those mons that I have run various amounts of bulky sets with, and have definitely, before I really stopped playing ladder, I played a lot of with a lot of teams that had Sandy Shocks on it. So while I don't like this mon entirely, it's a necessary evil. But you know, he's cool, or it's cool. It fits on the team, you know what I mean? Gets good coverage and does what it has to do. I think we'll definitely see this a lot of weeks just for, in general, scaring out certain mons or getting it in, maybe hitting a few things, or maybe it'll just be really bulky, because I have an FFA one that is a SPDEF boosting one that also counteracts a lot of funny things. And if I tell you what that was specifically actually made for, that it was not FFA mon before I edited its moves, you might call me a liar. So I'm not going to do that. We got Zarude. Zarude's one of those weird mons where everybody tells me it's really fucking good, and it's mostly because of Terra. And then I was like, well, okay, yeah, I can see why it's really good. It makes it a little bit harder to prep for, especially in draft leagues where they don't have Terra preview, and it's just kind of like, oh, it has some types that it will be, you never know. But that being said, even without Terra, it's still really good mon, really deceptively bulky despite being grass dark. I say a lot about a lot of mons, but because 100 to 500, 595, and all the other ones too are really fucking good. But in this game, it's killed or be killed. Hashtag Undertale. But Zarude's really good. I don't believe that we'll be bringing it like every single week. I feel like it can be a glue piece, but at the end of the day, at 105 speed, unless it's absolutely needed to outpace something, it feels like a mon that if we were allowed Terra, it would have been my first overall pick. But, you know, it's a really good grass. I really needed a grass type on this team because I really didn't enjoy the fact that if I fight against other grass Pokemon, I can get leech seeded very easily, or stun sport, or other things. In addition to that, Zarude's really good at just being a menace. 105 speed, while still not that fast, is still nothing to scoff at. An awful 120 attack and just being a general nuisance. Zarude's still really, really good. No doubt in my mind. But given its type combination, it plays well off of the other mons that I've drafted. So that's very important as well. But not my favorite little guy, but he's funny. Beezus Christ, aka Barry B. Benson. We got Rabombi again. If you've never seen me use Rabombi, it's the same 3 sets, and I intend on creating a 4th set that's even worse. And if you don't know what those 3 sets are, you'll figure it out this season. I don't really intend on using Sticky Web like that. It feels like every team has a spinner, or a consistent spinner, and a good enough defogger. But if you do see Rabombi, I would still be ready for it, because I lie in these kind of videos, because I know other coaches will see them, of course, and they may prep a certain way if they hear certain things. Do not worry. I am notoriously good at going back on my word about sets, because I build sets in a pinch, like in a literal pinch. It doesn't matter. It could be 11:15 before I go to bed. I could build a team right there and then in 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, and that'll be the team I use, even if I already went through mocks. And just for your information, I'm not doing mocks for this league, so everything is off the dome. So yeah, you might see it. It might be on the set. Will it get used? I don't know. But this mod has a lot of funny things that it can do, and it has 3 specific jobs I needed to do, and we'll see if we can get 2 of them done. And if we can't get the 3rd one, it is what it is, but I like this mod. It's very fun, great Pokemon, good fairy type. Definitely is different from Screamtail in a lot of regards, so it gives me an offensive fairy while still maintaining that it can be one of the more offensive fairies that I've seen in just one single dance. So very fun. We got Hitmonlee. So context is very important. I had a different mod in this slot, and then I had 3 different mods. Well, I had a bunch of different mods, but Hitmonlee was on the original team, and the reason for that is because he gets Rapid Spin. And outside of that, I was kind of just like, I don't really fucking care, bro. It's a cool mon. I could have gotten Hitmonchan, who's my favorite Hitmon Pokemon, but I was like, whatever, we'll get Hitmonlee. Then I really started looking at it, and I was like, that's a lot of fucking coverage for a mon that I fuck with. And like, we have a team that would like to have terrain and does not have terrain. So it's very funny if I were to fight a terrain-based team and bring both the Unburdened mons, one with a seed, maybe one without, or maybe they're both fucking limber. Maybe one's reckless and the other one's Molebreaker. You would never know. So it definitely does a really funny job at bluffing what it could and could not be. It makes people have to prep really hard because 120 attack is nothing to scoff at. And it's a technical Spit F demon, but with that 50 HP, it's very, very fake. 87 speed, while good, at 300, I want to say, at Jolly, while good, isn't great. But it can be serviceable. It definitely in situations where I have webs, but I don't think I'd be using Hitmonlee to sweep up games. I think I'd use Hitmonlee to break open games. And it could happen. It could happen. I won't say it will because I haven't looked at my schedule like that. But I know this mod's very fun to use. Gets a lot of fun coverage. And also Rapid Spin. Very nice of them to allow all the Hitmons I have Rapid Spin. Very, very nice of them. Overall, though, Mr. Brown Bandit over here is going to be fine. But last 2 mons did not have these 2 on this original plan, but you know me, I like to talk about things for extended periods of time. Pert 30, aka Muddy, aka ASAP Ferg, when that shit is on, nigga. You know the Baraka meme. It's Swampert. He's great. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this big ass guy, man. He gets everything you need. Hazards, flip turn, and great coverage. Like, he does everything you need him to do as a great bulky water and a great Pokemon overall. And he's stood the test of time over years, man. He's done everything he needed to do. Of course, I will warn the other coaches and warn you on video. I am a very good craftsman with this mon, because I have drafted it so many times, starting all the way down from ADV drafts all the way up. So trust and believe, I am very good at making sure it can live certain hits. If you must know, really funny one, back in Generation 8, it was a Grass Knot Thundurus or Tornadus, and I calced the exact amount I'd have to lose or more to get off an Avalanche onto it and kill it, which actually helped me win the game, even though the person expected it. They didn't really have a choice in the matter. So it worked out for me now, didn't it? Did I win that season? I did fine. I did 4-5. And you know what? I still don't regret it. It is probably my 3rd most drafted mon if I had to imagine and go through them all, but I'm not a guy like that. If you want to go through with it on my fucking channel, you can, but it's not going to help. But really good guy. Really, he's the glue to a lot of teams, if I say so myself. And then we got another spinner. I have not used this mod this generation, and I don't feel the need that I have to, but I give everything genuinely a fair shot before I shelf it or tell myself this was a mistake. A lot of people have used this mod for terror purposes and have made it work. I've definitely seen it try to work against me and it has not as much as it would like to. Now, that being said, Avalasuian is still a very, very top-heavy ass mon. Of course it is. It's basically a physical mon that has no special things and no speed. Here's the really funny part about that. This mon, invested properly, can do some really funny things, and I was doing calcs the other day. While I don't think we'll bring it very often, as it was a 2, 3, or 4 point pick, I don't remember. It might have been 2 points. None of my mons feel out of place. So doing a general little thing here. None of my mons feel out of place. You know what I mean? Nothing feels like it shouldn't be here. They all feel cohesive enough for me to say, hell yeah, man, that's my fucking team. And I really like that. You know, even all the way down to Hussein Avalok. He's gonna be a spinner. He's a good enough ice and rock type, and he can definitely hold his own if he really needs to. And I feel like we're gonna bring it to a good matchup, and it'll work out perfectly. I can make anything work if I try hard enough. There is no such thing as a bad matchup. Emil taught me that one. He said that back in 2021. It's 2025, dude. I think 2021 or 2020, I forget. But you know, everything feels like it's really good here. And that's the important part to this. Nothing feels off to me, and that's the important part. The first draft of this team was really, really like fun, but I felt like it didn't feel like an Avery team. It didn't feel like everything had to be considered. On this team, even if you think a mon has a 0 out of 10 matchup, I've considered it more than likely. And that's probably why most people don't like fighting me, because I always think of something that you probably are never fucking expecting. But that's okay. I will try my hardest to go 5-2, 4-3. Really depends on how we go about things, obviously. I will not promise that we will make playoffs or anything of that nature, but we will try really hard to do our best. That being said, please support your Backs to the Future, support Prepstars. If anybody else is uploading, everyone's channel will be linked regardless, because they do upload content outside of this. But please support the other creators in their other endeavors. But also, if they do upload, please support them there. Support them on those videos too. Support all my guys. But regardless, that's going to do it today for your Backs to the Future Prepstars draft analysis. I have to go get going to go to sleep and potentially draft. I'm drafting an LC team right now for a very fun league. For Fun League, it's a throwback that none of you will know. But that's okay. I'm gonna go and get out of here, get out of your hair. But until next time, good night and good luck.